whistle-stop tour, of creating a team coaching roadmap by using data. And it's a way to really ensure that the team or the board, in partnership with the coach, are working on what they need to serve themselves, their processes, their communication, and of course, their stakeholders. So welcome everyone. We've had over 450 globally register for this. And so clearly it's a topic that's an important one that people want to learn about. And we invite you now to just write in the chat, right where you're from and something you've loved about this week. Let's start that way. And then we're going straight into it. We've got Malaysia, we've got India, and we've got Doha, hello, Malta, Rome, Russia, Cairo. They're going too fast to read them all. Paris, Kenya, Iran, Lithuania. What a fabulous group we have here. So we're going straight into this. Here's what we're going to do. Samira's going to share a link in the chat. And just for now, you can watch the screen to see where we're going with Miro. If you want to go straight into Miro, click the link on the chat so we can play there together. And we're going to explain what tonight's about, a little bit of the data, and then what's going to happen is we'll be splitting into breakouts where you will work with your leader from the Coach Me team in your language on creating the actual roadmap. Nobody gets it wrong. There's a million ways we can do this. So creativity, use your imagination, use the data, and then we close the session by sharing some of the ideas of the roadmaps. Now, the Coach Me team, first of all, we're going to introduce them, and we're also going to ask them, when we do this initial introduction on Miro, to type in the chat 1 or 2 little pointers, just in case there's anyone who doesn't speak English on the call. So we have Ina in Russia.
Hello, hello, colleagues.
Great to have you here with us, Ina.
Thank you, Claire.
And we have Samira.
أهلا وسهلا, مساء الخير, good evening. Welcome everyone.
And we have Iman.
Salam و درود ارادت. Hello everyone.
And Nora.
Hello everyone, bonsoir à tous, très heureuse d'être parmi vous ce soir.
And we have Shamsuddin.
مساء الخير, مرحبا جميعا. Good evening everyone.
Next up is Sausan.
السلام عليكم, مرحبا جميعا, shalom لكلهم. Good evening.
And Ika.
Hi, selamat malam. Hi, everyone.
Lovely warm welcome. And Povilas.
Hello to everyone. Nice to see you in this whole world. Labas, broliai ir seserys lietuviai. Smagu jūs čia matyti. Ačiū Jums.
And Mark.
Good evening, good morning, everyone. Just a pleasure to be here and go through this wonderful opportunity with you.
And we have Adriana.
Olá, boa tarde a todos. Muito bom estar com vocês aqui. Sejam todos muito bem-vindos a esse nosso webinar. Obrigada.
And Anne.
Hey, good morning and good evening, everyone. It's nice to meet you all, and I'm really looking forward to working with you on this exciting webinar. Welcome.
Now, have I missed any of the team out? That panic moment. I know that
Britta, Clara, Britta, yeah.
I was looking for the blue on the different screens, Britta.
I know, sorry. Good evening, guten Abend zusammen. Freue mich, heute hier zu sein und den Breakout in Deutsch zu führen. Ich sitze in Kenia, spreche aber Deutsch. Danke, good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Britta. And we've got Caroline in the UK who's in transit, who'll be here with us listening in, and also Lawrence in the UK who may also be dipping in. Now, I'm scared to ask again, the team's so big. Is there anyone else I've missed out? We're there. Okay, so let's go to Miro.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I think it's better to be on the Zoom screen while we are checking the mirror. In the activity, I'll give you the link so everybody is in the same place because the board is so big. Today, we are just playing massive. Anyway, there, here you go. Just give it a few seconds for it to load, but you can start.
Okay, so what we have here is, by the end of the call, there is a prize for anyone who can name the company that I had in mind when I created the name Macro Solid. So there's the thing to think about. And the first password for this call is actually Macro Solid. So this helps us ensure that those people who get the 1.5 ICFCCE certificate, you email us, we've got the first password, and at the end of the call, we will share the second password. So Macro Solid is a leading investment group in that country. And the way that they are right now is they're in the Middle East and growing presence in Africa and Europe. And just a reminder to the team, if you want to type some of these pointers in the chat in your language, then please feel free to do so. And what's, you know, they're really into high value propositions, very client focused. They want transparency. And their two main business focuses are real estate and equity. And they began their journey in June 2011. Let's move on, Samira. So what we're sharing now is the way that we work with teams. And later you'll see the Coach Me model, which supports this process. So first of all, after the initial conversations and the pricing and the pitching, we're still clarifying in terms of where are the team at and what do they need. So what we've got on the next, I think it's 6 views, is information about each team member. So we have the first one there, the executive sponsor who, oh my goodness, this is our dream client, absolutely gets coaching, loves coaching, and is the champion, the exec sponsor, the ambassador for the team coaching project. Been in the team not very long, only 3 months, worked in the organization 3 years, experience in the financial sector, and I'm not going to read all of these because they will be, you know, coming out as well in the breakout. So we'll move on to the next one, who's Katerina, finance director, hates fluffy, absolute, get to the point, and, you know, wants to be the CEO one day, very driven. And let's go to Fisher. So Fisher, the next one is the marketing, is the marketing and communications director. You know, that sort of profile, there's a big hug, loves the team. First time that should say they've worked with non-profits and it's the first time with a profit making. Do make sure that that's clear for you there. Apologies about that. And fourth and final year, because they're actually moving on. And Fisher really feels the CEO should be more visible. Let's move to Layla. So Layla's in business development, very driven, longest standing member of the team. Feels the team needs to change strategy, increase business focus and move faster. Now remember, interviews one-on-one with the team, okay?
Right, so while we are moving, Claire, I think your internet is cutting off.
Oh, the other thing here, she really feels that, you know, efficiency and effectiveness are the way forward. And then we've got Yuri. And if I didn't pronounce that name correct, someone come off mute and help me with that one. And this is the Director of Client Services, been with the team a year, hopes to gain support from the team, more support. You know, ready to give 100% to these projects. And we need to benchmark as a team, was her words, in terms of looking at what competitors do, but not necessarily jump and follow them. You know, we should step into being leaders, is her mentality. And then let's move to Joe. There's a theme also here, you know, last one and a few others mentioned it when we chatted to them in terms of accountability. This team needs more accountability. Joe's Director of Legal, energy of Joe is, again, you know, get to the point. And it was a short interview with Joe because someone came in, interrupted us and took her off to her department where she had some critical incident going on. You know, so all of that is data for us as team coaches. And she's worked locally, so in the Middle East, but not yet globally. Okay, and she's new to the team. And then we've got Anya. Anya's the CEO, very interested in team dynamics, feels the team needs a bit of glue, okay, and work on processes to improve that. Working more sort of business agile was also in there, and communication across the team is poor. She feels she needs more visibility. So there's a bit of a clash going on, and she feels the team members are competitive yet hardworking, but they need to lean to each other. Also conscious, especially with what's been going on the last 2 years, that the wellness agenda needs to be stepped up in this organisation. So what we've had there is the data from the team, from the interviews we had with them. And next, we will be moving on to data that took place through a 360 profile called the 60. It's been used with Qatar Foundation, it's been used with Lego, a number of global organizations. And what this does, it enables an even bigger, richer picture, that all rhymes, bigger, richer picture of the team. So we've give you a snapshot on every area that's looked at, which are skills, knowledge, behaviors. Reflection, does the team learn together, etc. Action, how responsive. Results, transition planning, coping with setbacks and dependencies. And also, does the team have a systemic focus, looking at what's needed out there and make sure that they address that. And then the other things it looks at are also, how much does the team believe in itself at team level, not just about the individuals in the team. How much momentum has this team got? And the final bit is, what ways does the team, if any, celebrate together? So the data, if we look, let's focus on one particular graph. You may choose whichever you wish, Samira, just so we can look at the way to interpret it. That's fine, yeah. So the statement is, the team recalibrates when needed. They're agile and flexible. So what you'll see from this data, in the middle, what we have there in the middle is actually neither agree nor disagree. On the left is a negative, okay? If you look at this, the whole team, including the team leader and others who were others in the organization, everyone says that it's a negative. There's no plus in terms of the team recalibrates when needed and is agile. Let's just go to the next one, the action one. So you can see from the action one, the team leader is actually on 0. That doesn't mean they didn't give their view. What that means is they neither agreed nor disagreed with the statement. The team has clear and agreed ways of working together. They neither agreed nor disagreed. And then the team members are over on the plus, but not all the way, because it goes all the way to 2. Key stakeholders are all the way on the minus, as are the internal stakeholders. External stakeholders have actually put that as a plus and others as a plus. You might want to write in the chat, from that, what's your first thinking, cognitively, emotionally, even in your body, somatically? What's your thinking from that data in terms of the team has clear and agreed ways of working together? Let's see what people think. Aha, love it, Rashid. No alignment. Yeah, many of them are viewing the team at team level, not individual level. It's not about, you know, you're a finisher and you're a plant, etc. At team level, there is disagreement in terms of how people perceive the team in terms of clear and agreed ways of working together. So you have all this data, and all this will be shared as well in your breakout rooms, because you'll be able to go to Miro and look at it. On Miro, and we'll show this to you, we've also got the data in Russian. Thank you, Ina.
Like let's say a UN team.
And we've got the data in German as well. And in the breakouts, the way it works, you choose which breakout you want to go to. So you select, and you'll see English or Russian or Lithuanian or Urdu or Hebrew, Arabic. So you go to that room with the language that you want to work in. And your task in the breakouts from the data is to create a team coaching roadmap. So that's what might we do? And of course, we normally work with the team in creating this in partnership right there in a session. What might we do with this team? What do they need to work on? What might be low-hanging fruit? What looks like, oh gosh, this needs a big piece? And the other thing to think about as well is blending in what we call pure coaching. So where you're with the team and we throw the roadmap out the window, and whatever they need in that moment to focus on is where we iteratively work with the roadmap and go to what's needed. And then we may get back onto the track, or maybe the roadmap changes completely. So the final thing before we go to breakouts is to look at some of the things that we can do to enable teams to work on communication processes, focusing on their purpose, and so forth. Should we have a look at those slides, Samira?
Yeah. So here I just wanted to check on a few things. Now, those slides are also sent to you in PDF format in the chat, just in case anything happened in the breakout room and you didn't have access for any reason. Most of you guys are on the main board, so zoom out with your mouse and look for the language that you are in, and of course our co-leaders here will help you out. So you have someone on the French, Russian, Arabic, and so on. So we have two formats. This one here is the image format, and the right side is our PDF format. Just in case, for some reason, someone deleted your slide, go to the main slide. All right. This is, if you see it this way, right click on it, or maybe even just click on it and long press, right? Long press. Now it is released, means you can take copy of this main one. Okay. So everybody has the option to release locked content, and you can have it in your own breakout room. Alternatively, you have the PDF, so you can use the PDF. And you wanted me to look at a slide, Claire. Which slide was it?
So let's just run through some of the things that we can do with Teams, high level.
All right. Okay.
Requires a great deal of psychological safety.
And if possible, Samira, can we look at the English one? Otherwise, I'll have terrible trouble.
Here's the English.
So why create a team coaching roadmap? It's triangulating what we're feeling viscerally, self as instrument, from all the communication with the organization right from the get-go, even from that first little chat. And it's also triangulating from the interviews. We always do interviews with the team and the team leader and the exec sponsor, and sometimes stakeholders, and triangulating the data from the 360. Now, the TAP 360, you can actually have up to 300 people inputting data. We've never had that many, but it's there if this team really want to go for it. And we create the roadmap together. As I said, we use it iteratively, tweaking as needed as we go. And we work with the team to decide what success criteria will be, all the way from creating that roadmap in terms of return on investment and return on expectations. The other thing we do to assess that is the same TAP 360 following the project, and we can see what's changed from those graphs. Okay, and hopefully they've all gone to the right hand side where the team together are doing better. Of course, there's teams that are doing good, and we work with them to get them to great. It's not all about, oh gosh, fix this team, okay? And sometimes it's just because of new strategy and we're supporting them through that. And then some of the ways that we can work with teams, some activities. Let's have a look, Samira.
Just getting crazy, focusing on chat, and then maybe I'll just leave in. Do you want to go into the group and team or as is?
Yeah, let's go to group and team and then, so really having a clear understanding with the team. What is a group? A number of people who may be coached on the same topic, but they don't have a shared purpose. Okay, and if the team understand that, it's so much easier. So sometimes it may be knowledge share. The other thing with this is also an example when board members go with their director hat to the meeting and their department stuff, as opposed to being there strategically as a member of that board. So this type of conversation may take place in this particular activity. And the more clarity of language we have together with the team, the more impact can be created. And the next one. So this is literally, where are they at? Where do they need to be? And what way can they get there? Other things you can do here are things like timelines. You know, what is the history of this team? Why was this team created in the first place? And what needs to be stepped up for what's happening on the horizon? And the next one.
Here I'm just letting others know who are on this meeting. You are not required, not all of you are required to write or do anything on the board. Just your facilitator, our co-leader here will help you to do that. So don't worry about it. Team types, go ahead.
So what we've got with team types is, this is a map of each individual team member. So Ina, you're on the top of my screen on the pictures. Ina is thorough, she's to the point, she's precise, and she's got an eye for detail. Iman, you're the next one on my screen. Iman is creative, fabulous ideas, threw together this background in 2 seconds about 10 minutes ago. Tina, you're next on my screen. Tina loves to learn. And then Britta, always there with positive energy, and so on. So what this map does is shows our individual team type and puts it all together. Why is that useful? The more we know about each other as team members, the more we know what makes each other tick, what helps us work together, and the ways to communicate most effectively with each other. There's an activity, and that can be done live 360. There's also loads of profiles you can use for that type of thing. Now, we did say it's a whistle-stop tour, so we're moving on fast, so you can get into having a play and conversations together.
Да.
So this one, business as usual.
А как мне быть тогда?
Quite often in team coaching, we observe the team in action right there in the sessions, but also observing them with clients, observing them in their meetings. And then we do what Barry Oshry calls a toot, taking time out of time to enable, with their permission, us to share back what we noticed in terms of process or many other things that's happening with the team. Okay, and that is like a mirror, and it's amazing things that they haven't realized that they need to focus on. So business as usual is fabulous. Another one there, we've got team charter. That looks quite a powerful picture there. And this is them connecting together. It may be creating team values as well. It may be also looking at the purpose of this team. Why are we a team, not a group? Why do we need to be a team? What is our true purpose? And there's ways to keep that alive every day and keep revisiting it. And then we mentioned before a timeline. Something to blend into the timeline is ghosts in the system. Now that isn't spooky, or maybe it is. What that's about is the people that maybe set up the team have moved on from the team, and yet their presence is still there. And you get things like, when X was in that role, this was happening, you know, those types of conversation. And yet it's really useful for these things to be acknowledged. And the timeline allows new members especially to really understand, you know, the highs and lows of this team along the way, you know, the setbacks and dependencies that they've had to work with, and a million other things. Next, enabling them to, you know, analyze the way they are with meetings. Too many, too few. Could there be things that are happening in their meetings that could take place via another form of communication? All those types of things. And, you know, ways that maybe online using project management software can make things even more effective for the team, especially with so many teams dispersed nowadays. And the next one. Ooh, I might take a breath in a minute. So the next one is a systemic focus. In terms of the team's purpose, what way are they working for their internal and external stakeholders, be it another department, another team? Obviously, in this case, what way are they supporting the board? What way do they listen to their people in their teams, to clients, financial sector, to regulators, and so forth? And what do they need to shift to be able to serve their stakeholders more effectively? And in line with that, let's go to stakeholder mapping. I think this could become a textbook. So what we have here, stakeholder mapping, is looking at who, and it may be an organization or individuals, influence the team and who are interested in the team, and placing, whether it's online or face-to-face in the room, mapping out these people or entities and seeing where they are in terms of influence and interest, whilst also identifying where the team, to serve its purpose, needs them to be. So if you've got someone, a person who's low impact and low influence, low interest, and you need them as, whoa, over there, more communication with them, they are our absolute top priority. What way can we get them into our fold? That's the conversation for the team to have. And the next one. Generative thinking. So this is about the team using, when they share, what I like about that is this. So Galina, what I liked about what you said is this. And then we add to it. It's that energy as opposed to no, but I am right. Okay. And it's also, you know, these types of things can be other skill drills, ways to enable the team to ask powerful questions, ways to enable the team to deeply listen with things like Nancy Klein's thinking time, appreciative inquiry, and all those beautiful things. And now and again, depending on the team, even going existentially, you know, purpose can actually impact the world. And where are we with that? And how important is it to us as a team? I like that picture. And then the next one. Beautiful stuff. You may have seen this before. So it's Patrick Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions. And what we might do with the team is go through, oh gosh, disaster teams have all this. Let's flip it. And effective teams need these things to function. And we work with them, even face to face, getting them to stand in these different places, literally, to connect with where they feel they are, individually where the team is, and then together, where are we as a team in terms of, you know, trust, integrity, conflict. Are we brave enough to have those conversations that need to take place, and so forth? Okay, now that one's a bit blurred, don't worry. We will ensure that you get all of this and, you know, high resolution images. Of course, there's a million other models. So let's go to your task. When you choose which breakout you go into, the task is simply this. You can go into the Miro board, or the leader will do it for you. And the way it works is revisit the data, the interview data, and also the data from the team advanced profile, the TAP 360. And then whether it's some of what we've shared in terms of things to do with the team, or things you know work, or something you've just thought of in that moment. Hey, how about this? You know, people go to drama and all sorts of different activities you can do with teams. And you are going to share in whatever way you wish. If it's a line with post-its, or you may want to use image cards and work creatively. Each image represents something. That's a set of drums. This one is in terms of, you know, the team working in synergy and harmony and playing together. What can we do around that? You're going to create a roadmap for this team from the data. And then the final bit of our session today is coming together and sharing. We may not manage all, but you'll have access to this Miro board afterwards as well for a while, and sharing together the learning from this activity, what you didn't know that you know now, and also sharing things that you've got from your group on the roadmap, so that we can all learn what went on in the other breakout rooms, what was discussed in terms of roadmaps in the other groups.
All right, so a quick instructions here. You do have the PDF format of the slides in the chat, and I'm posting one right now again. Just give me a second to all. So alternatively, you can always download that just in case if your internet is not supporting you to check the Miro. Again, the room leader, whoever is co-leading there, will help you out, whether they can share the screen with the PDF or the Miro. You can write on the Miro directly. I've added, there is on the very bottom, Britta, we have a German. All right, so you can do that there. And one more thing, yeah. Once you're in and you decided that this is our board, you will write it down, and you want to protect that nobody is changing anything on your board. Just lock it. Okay, just lock it. Just right click on it. For example, if this is something that you wrote or used, just simply lock it. Let's say you want this image, right? Click on it, right click, or just do Control C and Control V. You simply duplicated it. You can use that. Okay, So the images will be placed next to the board. It will take some time for it to load. However, if you give it some time, it will load and you can use it on our main board. Claire, initially we decided it's 25 minutes. What are you thinking now?
I'm thinking 25 minutes. And in that 25 minutes, if you do need a quick bio break or get a glass of water, include that in your 25 minutes. So look at your clock now. For me, it's 4:45. No, it's not. It's 5:45. So for me, it's 6:10 that we will all be back together. If you end up in a room and there's not one of us there, do not worry, get started. Some of us are dipping in and out. So work together, one of you step into leading and create your team coaching roadmap from data. Have fun.
Right, so the room setup timer is already on 25 and it will give us a notification. Once we stop it, you will automatically come back. Leaders, hotel rooms, we have English, Arabic, Farsi, German, Hebrew, French, 2 other English rooms on the bottom side, just in case if you find your room is too crowded, you can change. We have Urdu, Lithuanian, and Indonesian. Did we forget any?
Well, we forgot a few languages, but they couldn't be here today, so it's okay.
All right.
Samira is Russian there. I haven't heard it. Samira is Russian there.
Oh, and we have a Russian now.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so we have them all. Go ahead.
And just in case you've not done it this way before, it's you choosing which room to go to, as opposed to us putting you in a room.
فبتشوفون ان في شاشه قدامكم، اختاروا اللغه اللي تبونها. اتوقع انه قاعد يتحسب عربي، فاللي يبون عربي يقدرون يروحون دايركت حق اللي باللغه العربيه، والشمس بيكون متواجد وياه، واحتمال انا بعد ادش معه. Go ahead, ایمان.
دوستان عزیزم اگر به زبان فارسی هستید اون پایین بریک اوت روم رو بزنید و بعد میتونید روم فارسی رو انتخاب کنید و داخلش برید.
Hey, very interesting. Makes that great. Let me see. Anna is in the Russian room. Good. Eka is in the Indonesian one. Excellent. And the English room is quite full. Arabic, mumtaz. Farsi, mashallah, it's full. Germany, good.
And if you're unsure how to join, just basically scroll down on the right, and then you will see the rooms so you can join. Because remember, we're not putting you in them. Scroll down on the right.
We
can.
can.
You might end up in the wrong language.
So, and Adriana, would you like to translate that, Adriana? Oh, Adriana, do you want, let me see. Good. Room 13 can be Portuguese if you want to choose Portuguese. Room 13. I feel like an airport and lounges here. Right. Room 13 can be the Portuguese language.
Should we write it there just to make that one clear?
Once you open, nothing can be changed. That's how Zoom works.
Aha, okay.
That's why we have extra rooms. Okay. مرزية اختار بكون لغة فارسية میبینی اونجا ایمان هسته و ترجمهش میکنه اونجا. Okay, ما شاء الله there are 17 in the Farsi room. خیلی خودم بسید ببرمت پیش ای روم فارسی. All right. سميرة بوجو سميرة تفضلي سميرة. Or you may speak up, Samira. It's the first time in my lifetime history I find someone with the same name. Right.
And we may have some that can't join breakouts because, you know, because they're driving.
Yeah, okay. So I can ask those who I'm familiar with. Dr. Khalid Al-Atwi, would you want to go to the English or Arabic one? Nora, we have two English room. So the second one has 2 people.
Should we put them in the other one?
We can put them in the other one, yeah.
Zoom needs to be able to.
Nazli. No, keep it. It's Mark and Nazli. They can work together. Okay, they have a co-leader there. Good.
And have we got any in the French for Nora? Ah.
Nothing so far.
Inshallah. Yeah. So, oh, inshallah. Vahida, I will send you to the.
I'm looking for the. I'm seeing the rooms, and I will join the room where I'm seeing. They need extra.
Thank you.
Extra coaches.
Thank you. Claire, do you see that those last few names, which are on the main room, and do you know what language is that written in?
So I can't tell the difference between Farsi and Russian.
I can say the Farsi one. That's true, but I'm not talking about the text. I'm talking about the names. You know, if you open the breakout room window,
yeah,
as a host, you can see, right, the names.
Ah, yeah.
So I can send them according to the language.
So I will go on room 13. Adriana, she's alone there.
Okay.
Brilliant.
All right.
Go ahead.
Brilliant.
Ala will go to the Arabic one. And Samira Farsi. All right. Inshallah. Here we go. And we have
Elena, what language would you like us to send you to?
Russian languages.
Okay, we can send Elena.
Right.
I couldn't read your name before, Elena.
All right. And then we have Aida, Nilufar. Hi, Nilufar. I will send Nilufar to the Farsi.
Harry, what language do you want?
Rupinder is here. Okay. Nilufar. Mohar wants the Indonesian one. Okay. Hi, Mohar. Oh, Mohar is such a diligent person. Yeah. He was there in the morning. He's here with us. Sayyid Muhammad. Farsi, Najin, inshallah. We need to duplicate Iman.
Absolutely.
Right.
Mona, where would you like us to send you? What language?
Mona Shirazi. It says it all. The name says it all. Mona Jan, I will send you to Farsi. Is that okay? Okay, Ann?
Farsi.
Inshallah. Rupinder English, all right? Now we have our co-facilitator who are Mark and others. Shall I do it in a room that you joined Rupinder and the new group? Welcome back.
Hello.
Big were the rooms.
So, is any language out there raring to go to be the first to share your collective team coaching roadmap?
Marina, would you like
Ina.
to go first? Marina?
Yay.
Yeah, we go first. We'll present in English so that it'll be a little bit easier. And Marina has volunteered to be our speaker.
Окей, Ирина, вы могли бы тогда поделиться экраном? Я так и не нашла. Okay, I'll be the first. So we didn't include any pictures, so it is a little bit not as nice as we would love it to be, but it is as it is. So the first thing we are thinking that the leader, we need to clarify leaders' expectations on the data we present during the first session. It is kind of diagnosis presentation. We do the presentation and all the team, and then we have the separate talk with leader to understand his, her at this point, her expectations. What she thinks about that. And then we think that naturally team session is necessary so that they clarify the discrepancies in the data and the collection of the results. And what we, it was clear from the data that there is some issue in the flexibility and the resilience of the team, some communication gaps. So we hope that team will look at the data and come to this themselves. We need also to clarify stakeholders' expectations. And because we already collected data and we cannot go back and ask additional data, we thought that this empty chair technique would help us perfectly in this case. So why they think that in some places they are really negative, they have negative opinion on some of the questions. Then we think that in order to build trust at this point and go further to the next step, we need to go into individual coaching sessions and to understand the perspective of each member, but not as a diagnostic, but it is a little bit deeper and understanding their mindset related to team and whys and all these things, and probably their values, because it is also interesting what on the spiral dynamics where they are and all this stuff. So then we think that I think all of us are using this Lencioni 5 dysfunctions in our sessions because it is easy to use, it is very clear, neat and nice. So we think that a team session will be needed for this to figure out what is the most usually the discussion of dysfunction comes with with lack of trust. So, and we think that running the session to understand the basic causes of the lack of trust and build this, start building vulnerability of each member in order to raise this trust would be necessary at this point. And then again, because we said that the team charter there was some gaps there also, we think that another team session on team charter would be necessary so that they start revisiting their processes and rules. And of course, and this is not, even though it is in the sequence, but we think that it is not necessarily that business as usual will be at the end. I mean, it is throughout all these interventions, because we need to not only collect, but to really observe the team in real life, so that we act as a mirror for them to see what is happening, what they do not really notice, something like that.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. And
can I add just the last 2 sentences to Maria?
Absolutely.
I would like to add that this business as usual is really a very important platform for us. I don't know what I show. You can't see me. I don't know why. Okay, but this is really important platform to see what is changing. This is the type of observation of progress, and maybe we based on the areas for development which the team identify for themselves, we can implement another tool to measure the progress specifically on these areas which they choose, and then business as usual in other sessions we can use to ask, okay, where are you now, what happened, what changes we can observe, and yeah, this is continuation. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you. So important. You know, and there's that thing of that works so well once psychological safety is built, and it's really I always find it humbling and also fascinating what we experience in business as usual when we're observing. And also, Mariana, I love the way you brought in the coaching for all the team individually, because that helps them to apply the learning ongoing, you know, and to really go deep into what ways they can lean into being an even better team player. Brilliant. Thank you, Russia. Of course, lots of great work there. And Ina, as a superstar team coach, leading the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. And so, who's next? Povilas, you're on my screen on the right. Do you want to go next?
Sure, I want, because I have a beautiful professional coach, Miroslavas, who will represent our small details, what we were talking, but there was too little time to discuss everything, but just what we have, like 4 steps. Miroslavas, your stage is yours.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll try to unmute myself. Yeah. Do you receive me?
Yeah.
We do.
Good. Is it possible to look at the map, Lithuanian map? Okay. So actually, we went through 360 results, and definitely we raised the same issue as from our point of view as a core issue of the team is the issue of definitely agility and flexibility, and out of that we've been thinking about how to design an intervention that would be more suitable for the team in order to deal with this issue, using the instruments, the toolbox that you've provided. And we went out with the 4 steps, and out of this toolbox. And definitely, from our point of view, the first step should be a session designated to analyze the issue of this team. Is it a group or is it a team? So we would run the first session on this issue to analyze the issue of belonging and purpose and impact of the whole members who will be participating in the session. After that, we would went to the second step. I cannot move it to the number 2, team type. and this would be actually, and this would be a session that it needed definitely to see the difference of perception, how the team members sees who are they from their point of view, and how they are experienced by their colleagues. And this would be a slight entrance into one of the culmination point from our point of view that is essential before an agreement would be reached. It definitely going to well used by everyone probably here, Lencioni, 5 dysfunctions of the team, and definitely going from the trust perspective mostly. It was not discussed maybe by the whole team, but this issue of flexibility and that the team is facing, or difficulties in agility and flexibility that the team is facing, nevertheless, when the results are quite well evaluated by the team, probably lies in team acting more coherently together. So after this session designated for analyzing dysfunctions, and definitely beginning with the trust, we would went for the team charter session. That would be like a basement or a basis for an agreement how team should or would work together in order to adjust and to adapt to the need of agility, and what should be done by individual team members and the team as a whole in order to act and react in a flexible manner. So that's a short conclusion out of our group discussion on 4 steps to be taken. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Anything anyone wants to comment from that? Really, I mean, you were talking about detail, Povilas, but there was so much in there from you all. Thank you. Anyone, any questions, comments? I find Lencioni really useful in terms of, you know, so we have the levels, and then it helps them anchor. I see where we are. I see the way we could work at a different level, more effectively. Brilliant. Thank you. So who's next? Anne, would you like to go next?
You know, I was hoping you'd say you'd avoid me because I let my team down so badly it wasn't funny in terms of, well, because I found looking at Miro a bit of a soup and I was getting a headache and my computer was just dying. I need a new one. So what we had was I thought I tried to lead a good chat, and we got some really good brainstorming and some observations in terms of looking at the data, had some, and I took notes because fundamentally what we were looking at in terms of, we really focused on the team where they are now. What, you know, what is, and then that would inform our intervention in terms of where they needed to go. So we were looking at ways of working and exploring that, how we got that down so that the team would feel comfortable interacting with one another, and then also be able to have a mechanism to hold each other accountable. Because that's one thing about, you know, having ways of working that if it's just in word only, it's not going to help. Then we were also looking at processes, policies, procedures, that sort of stuff, really looking at the what is needed for this team to focus on. And then we started getting into a discussion about how, you know, the how of the team, you know, the team leader, focusing on the team leader as being aware of what's going on with the personnel relationships, making sure that as a team coach, we work with them to help them explore their self-awareness with respect to their team and how they can use that self-awareness to improve the relationships of the team, and also let's say foster psychological safety so that everyone would feel comfortable and not fear retribution of, let's say, being an outlier when they see something or they're calling behavior that needs to be changed. Because if that team doesn't, can't work according to its ways of working, it may not work at all. And then, oh darn it, I have to look at my notes again. And then we were also, focused on the attention that we focus with the team leader as well as the team itself, because I was focusing on the team leader because that's normally what I do. And then one of the I think it was Narayan brought up the point, said, well, yeah, we've also got to do it with the whole team, and that was one thing that I not been clear on. That yes, work with the team leader to help them be effective so that they can help their team be effective. We've got to co-create that, because one day I'm, as the team coach, will be gone. And if that, in order for that change to actually be sustainable, got to help them, feel comfortable in their role. So, and I have to just say, on one hand, I really hate Patrick Lencioni. I read his book when it first came out in 2002. You can imagine that was like 22 years ago when I was a young little up and coming strapper. And I got fired so many times because I was like, this team's dysfunctional. We need to talk, blah, blah, blah. Go out, leave. So on one hand, I love it when they bring him up, but he was responsible for a lot of upheaval in my life a couple of years ago. So, yeah.
You know what? We both love the TAP 360. I know you do, Arne, as well. Really many conversations. And what I love about it as well is it's really useful for that one-on-one coaching with the team leader, because you can see what they think. You can see what the team think and the others think, and the resonance and dissonance. And so quite often we use that also in terms of team leaders need to be looking at the skills, knowledge, behaviors, the way the team learn together, and so forth. Thanks, really insightful. Anyone, any comments or questions there before we move on?
Seeing a couple of teams doing very nice, a couple of groups doing very nice reflections there, Claire. So we have most of them that you guys did an excellent reflection, but some of them are quite interesting. Like this one, and I'm sure Rita will step in now.
Okay. Yes, I'm actually, thank you, Samira. I'm actually like having second guesses and doubts while I listen to all the beautiful other approaches, because I was like, okay, I must have misunderstood the task. We took a different approach. And I must have overread this, or maybe, yeah, let me explain differently. So we took the approach of looking at where the team is now, and we didn't see the pictures in the beginning. So normally we would probably define a picture for us first. How do we see the team ourselves, and then also have the team define a picture of how they see themselves as they are now, and then define the future vision of their team. And as most of the others have already said, one of the key challenges is, or key things they want to work on, is agility and flexibility. So we took the picture of the snake being flexible and agile as a visual representation or reference. And we also circled, so total different approach. We circled what are they already good at. In the presentation, in the data, we circled those areas that are already seen positive on the right-hand side. And we also saw that one of the things that the externals or the external internal stakeholders saw very good was their clear definition of the purpose. So one of the questions that we would raise in the coaching would be like, how can you capitalize more on that, what you already have, and so that you have a clear defined purpose, and also your results are there, so you're delivering results. And then we looked at where they have weaknesses, one I already mentioned. So this is still work in progress. It's by far not ready. On the is on the left-hand side, my colleague who is now not here has captured what is good, what is working, and then in brackets, a little bit like we do in accounting, what is not working very well. And we have done the same on the 2B side. And then what we really, the apparel process, the way we approach this, we were only 2 in the team, and Tina, my partner in the breakout, has had to step out. So I'm hoping she's approving everything I'm saying. She's here in spirit. So she worked out on the data, and I worked on the is of the team, what I'm reading from the data. So I think in a coaching setup, I would definitely have the team define a team map, and what is their influence, where are they positioned, how far are they from each other. And that's kind of like according also to Hawkins, disciplines of the team, the 5 or the 4. So I have mapped post-its towards their power and their influence. And I've just done it that's now my judgment. And I think if we were to do a team coaching, we would have them do it. Like, what's the power and influence? Who is not aligned? And how far are they away from each other? So the size of the post-it notes kind of gives the power and influence. And I've kind of looked a little bit how long have they been in the company, and then the red kind of arrow shows there's a little bit of discrepancy between the CEO and the marketing, but it seems the marketing manager hasn't been in the company for so long. So this is just a start and work in progress of what would we encourage them to do to get another idea of how the team coaching journey, we didn't actually get there, should look like. Sorry, I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. And what I love now, what we're seeing on the screen is it's almost like, a way of presenting power and influence with size is just brilliant, especially online, and there's a million things with constellations we can do just so easily online in terms of people's views of different, aspects of what's going on for the team or decision making. And it also points to how much data actually comes from this profile. We never feed back all the data in one go. It's just overwhelming. So it's like with which bit needs to be focused on. I love it. It's fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Sorry, thank you. I'm so impressed by all the different approaches.
Yeah, well, isn't that brilliant?
It's brilliant, yes.
All learning together. Mm-hmm. Anyone, any comments there before we move on? And thank you, Britta. So who's next?
We have Indonesia.
Okay.
Thanks. There are 3 of us in the room. So there's Anita, myself, and there's a gentleman, Mohar Ibrahim from Malaysia. So either Anita, Suman, or Mohar can explain what we discussed in the room. Go ahead.
Sure. Hi, Mohar here.
Hi, Mohar. Good to have you here.
Hey, okay. I think our approach is slightly different than the rest, perhaps, because we are very much data-driven people. So we make use of the data that we have, and we did the analysis of the especially the TED 360, and we find that these are very important information. And then what we wanted to do then was to look at it, and then what we want to do is we want to share with the team to raise the awareness of the information that we receive. Okay, so based on that, also what we want to do is we want to come up with a team charter to see where or what is the where we're going to go to, what's the direction we want to go to, and then we will be looking at the 2 scenarios. One is as is business as usual, in the data itself, you can see that they're great. They're doing very well in terms of what's happening with the current situation. But there's one thing that is negative about it, where we says that where we find that they're not agile. There's a lot of negativity in the agility and the flexibility of the team. So so based on that, we were discussing in terms of in this current situation, in this VUCA disruptive war coming world, what is going to happen to this business? Is this business going to survive or not? On how flexible or how adaptive are they going to be in terms of the to-be situation or the to-be scenario? So based on that, that's where we stop actually, because we didn't have much time to discuss further. And basically what we wanted to do was number one is to raise the awareness of the team members. This is what the data says about them. That's very key. And then based on that, if these are the facts, these are the things that we know about the team itself, what do you want to do about it? So that's where we talk about having scenario planning, you know, and that's where we ended.
Brilliant. Okay. Absolutely. And, you know, scenario planning, it really supports transition planning and resilience in teams.
Yep.
Because by, you know, thinking of what might go wrong, spending time on that, well, COVID is the example. So many teams could have moved that bit more faster to working online.
Right.
Fabulous, fabulous insight there. I'm also thinking, you know, as well as the strategy, team culture, what way do we need to be together for this to happen? Moha and let's call you a team. You've worked together with a shared purpose. Moha and the team. Thank you. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Nice insights there. Now I'm looking for another team who did, what was it? Let me just go there.
So we've got Arabic,
yes,
and
Arabic.
English.
And Farsi?
Yes, we can go.
Go ahead.
Just because for sake of, because it is all in person, I appreciate if you could just, you know, forget screen sharing because it's not clear for everyone. One of the important things, you know, everything that people, you know, my fellow coaches has added is awesome. Just we focused on everything that mentioned, but three more important things that could be sometimes forget, especially for the team coaching. One is, you know, zero phase of the project. Everything was about, okay, phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3, or whatever it is, especially in, you know, in mapping, in road mapping. But there are three main steps. One is team coaching is a whole different from coaching. Core competencies, everything is different. So first, second, API, the more authority you have, the more impact you can make. And 3, ABC, always be contracting. There is a big difference between team coaching, team mentoring, team building, team consultation, team team facilitation, and all these sorts of things can help a coach to be a coach as a whole at zero phase of the project, and then go through everything that is there.
Excellent, thank you. And when you were talking there's something that none of us have actually mentioned today, and we really feel this is important. Team coach readiness. Is this team or board ready for, number 1, team coaching, number 2, systemic team coaching, looking at what's needed out there and the way to address it. And so sometimes, I don't mean just in a just team building initially. Getting to know each other on a human level before the team coaching is really important as well. We've got on the website, I'll share it afterwards, a little survey as well in terms of team coach readiness. So some people have commented it's too long. It's like, what do you remove though? There's about 22 questions. Really useful. We can share that as well. Iman, great insights. Thank you to you. And there was so much going on the board with your group as well. Clearly, they'd all make fabulous online team coaches. And who's next?
We have the Arabic team.
So hello everyone.
Hi.
I think some of the team members has left. So what we did today, we had sort of, I would call it brainstorming more or less what could be done. And some of the members here in the group, they discussed we need to rebuild the team again. So that's a question, that's something really to be questioned. And some of them, they said, we need to discuss the team values. We need to bring the team together and bring them on the table all and bring the values together. Individual assessment was many people have mentioned individual assessment. So team type, that's something we need to do. Identify the purpose as a team, which is, I believe, if you're going to go through the 360, they're all there. You still need to probably reinforce it. And we mentioning also identifying the next steps using the 5 dysfunctions of the teams for the team. And last, I think team charter, ways of working together. Last thing I think was mentioned by Dr. Khaled was to discuss the spirit of ownership and use the results as motivation tools. One other thing, and the last thing, is celebrating all the successes that we have in the teams through obviously the 360 assessment. Yeah, so this is from the Arabic speakers, sorry. I don't know if Sausin wants to add something because she was with me. So.
Thank you, Shams. Actually, it was a challengeable for us. Like the case needs more to read, and yeah, to get lots of the information. We tried our best to make it the best, but really every single slide needs some to dig deep in each one of it. But the biggest challenge we found, like, it was the communication between the team itself. The team leader, like, he was loving the coaching from what you shared with us with the case. So when we want to deliver team coaching, I think the first thing that to discuss with them and to define what is coaching and what is not coaching. What is really, this is the primary stone that we should begin with. So I think this is the big challenge about this. Then comes to the value of the team, which within the value of the organization, because each one of them, like swimming in another sea, let's say. This is the metaphor that we can use in this case. So yeah, I think it needs more time, but it's really changeable case, and we can dig deep in that.
And it's really interesting. Myself and Samira often say, you cannot charge by the hour for team coaching, because so much happens outside of that. Well, we don't team coach for an hour anyway. It's usually about two and a half, but so much happens outside the session, even just here. And when you're co-delivering team coaching, even more so. fabulous, obviously you have to charge more, but fabulous value for your learning and growth in terms of co-delivery and self, but also it adds such value to the team. So thank you for bringing in the complexity of team coaching, you know, and by restoring and having supervision on cases, it supports all of us. I still have supervision as a team coach, and have been recently working with EMCC in terms of creating, it's a long sentence, team coaching supervision competencies, not just supervision competencies, up in the notch on that side too. So Sam, thank you so much for all that insight as well.
Thank you. Thank you all.
So I know some of you are having to dip off. We will stay until, you know, everyone's shared, and also if there are any Q&A, happy to stay for that as well. So are we going to, is it English next?
Well, Aaron did the English, but what do you think he's speaking lately? I was also suspecting that. Yeah. So okay, we've done all languages. I don't think we missed any. Aaron, did you do the English one now?
Oh yeah, we did.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, but
Remember, I apologized for letting my team down.
So here's it. I had in my mind, because we did it, we opened up 2 English groups initially.
Yeah.
that was the plan, and I was
Unless
thinking
you're
there's
saying
another
Canadian
English.
now.
Oh yeah, that was it. You and Mark in the Canadian
Mark and I
group.
were the Canadian boys.
So what we'd love to do now is just really briefly, whether it's in the chat out loud, what's your biggest learning from this session? What will you do differently in your practice as an aspiring team coach or as a team coach? If anyone, just in a nutshell, Zubdu in Arabic, all the other languages in a nutshell, what's your biggest learning? And then also, what will you change in your practice, either in the chat, or if anyone does want to share, you're very welcome to do so. And while you're having a think about that, we deliver a 60-hour blended programming team coaching. And we also do training on the TAP 360, so you can be a professional user. And we also, in terms of the different activities, a program called Imagine Me, which looks at image cards and many other creative ways, constellations, etc., that can support us in our work one-on-one group and team. So should we read some of the chat? Anyone want to speak out about their biggest learning today?
I have to be honest and say that it's going to take a day or two to incorporate and unpack. I'm one of those people who information flows over me, and then I need some time to think about it and reflect on it. So again, I'm hoping that I'm going to go back to the slides and the notes that I took and from when everyone was presenting, and then see how I can incorporate to improve my practice for my clients. To me, it's one of these things that's so much. It's like drinking from a fire hose, really. So that's where I'm at. I'll be thinking for a day or two.
Brilliant. And there is so much in there as well. It's we packed in a lot. Well done, everyone. Anyone else like to share?
Yeah, what will be the password for the end of session?
At the end of the session, and we can check just in case people have you know, had to dip off at the end. Let's just have it simple, coach me. So for the CCEs, password at the end, coach me. And it's usually about 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 days to get your certificates. If you don't have it by a week today, do contact Leah at the office at beckett-mcenroy.com to chase it up if you don't have it a week today. So Anyone, any questions before we close?
What we will do is send you a link to, because you registered with your email, so we have the data there, we'll send you an email to apply for your CCEs. Then you have to give us both passwords, the beginning and the end, and then you will receive the certificate. Now, if you want to be proactive, let's say just in case you didn't receive the certificate, then it's office. Let me just write it down.
I have put it. I have put it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Fabulous. Fabulous. And Tina, I believe you had a question.
I just wanted to issue a very warm word of thank you. It's my first time I've joined today. I'm really impressed how you have been pulling together the case, the amazing coaches, and it was a steep learning curve, and I'm fully delighted to be able to join, and I will do so next time. Thanks for having me in this international round of coaches. I really appreciate that global round.
Thank you, Tina, and thanks for being here as well.
Thank you, Dr. Clary.
Pleasure. Absolute
It was
pleasure,
a great
Kumar.
experience. It's a great experience because we have been hearing about team coaching with a matter of short 1 hour plus. What as a coach, what we need to pay attention, how our role is important in transforming team and organization. And something very nice experience I had, and I have to study the 360 data. If sample copy can be shared, that will give us more clarity. And I found the instrument also is going to be of great help. Because from there only we are going to construct and take our dialogues and then plan. So understanding what we are capturing and then doing our homework, and then before meeting the stakeholders and the team is pre-preparation of a team coach is very, very important, so that we can bring everybody on board on the same page. I think those areas I need to pay attention, and my learnings I have put it in the chat, and very fabulously facilitated and very powerful international forum, giving clarity about the role of the team coach and how practically we have to do it rather than just reading it. I think it was very, very helpful to me, and I'm honored to be with all the people around the globe. And thanks for your great work.
Thank you. And Kumar, I've just put a sample of the whole TAP 360 because we just showed you one question from each section. And that's there in the chat, and it is on a different case. And one thing we didn't mention with the TAP 360, as well as the graphs, the sort of, the data comparison, at the end, there's a stop, start, and continue, where everyone who inputs their data on the team can actually write in narrative what they feel the team should stop, start, and continue as well. Remembering that only the team leader and the exec sponsor, just because there's usually only one, only they are identifiable. If you've got more than one other person in the team, the rest of the categories, the person isn't identifiable, which can, that can help things. Kumar, thank you. Thank you. So any more questions? And if not, we'll bring it to a close.
Just once more, thank you very much. It was really integrating collective intelligence. It was really that kind of session. Thank you.
Won't the world become a better place with that as well?
Okay, thank you.
Thank
you, and bye-bye.
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 So stay well, everybody. Thank you all.
What is the second
Wave to our
password?
team.
What is
Sorry,
the second
Kumar?
password?
The second password is Coach Me.
Coach Me.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you to all the team and to you. Thanks for the team for being here. Thanks for everyone who's joined. Stay in touch and let's carry on learning together.
Thank you, Sunita. Thank you, Mon. Thank you, Aran.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. Thank you.
And have a fabulous evening or day wherever you are in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shukran. Thank you. Thank you. Co-leaders. Thank you. Well done. Coach Me coaches.
Great job.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shams. Thank you, Sausan. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
I'm not sure I did a whole lot. Just gotta love technology some days. That's all it is. Oh my goodness.
Just like you being here,
Mark. Your presence is enough.
You just want to see me get up at 5 a.m. That's what you want.
I know, yes.
Absolutely.
That's our mission at BMC.
Yeah. Wonderful session. Just brilliant. I love the approaches and just so much rich learning. Oh my goodness. Just fabulous. Yeah. Looking forward to the recording.
We will work and edit it a little bit on the some bits and definitely upload it in our channel. And we'll send an email to all participants who registered with the link of the video and the evaluation one, where the evaluation one will have the first and second password request. And based on that, we'll do cross-check with our attendants, and then we will send you the certificates.
And the other thing is, we've been online a lot now, but any of the team and anyone who's still listening, any feedback at all, how we could all have done that even better, then please send it over. Maybe on that WhatsApp group we've got, that would be a great place to put it so that we can capture it for next time. Yeah, and Mega Solid, anyone know what company I created that from?
I don't know, Claire. The colors are similar to our Coach Me.
I think they are. Was that subliminal messaging? Maybe. I was looking through and it wasn't, it was a tech company as opposed, there's your clue, tech company, not a financial sector company. And I saw Microsoft and I thought, Microsoft's got Mega Solid. Microsoft.
Ah, so it's the opposite of Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. What would be the
Mega
opposite
Solid
of
sounds more
Amazon?
powerful. Because micro, small, and soft, we know we love soft skills, but soft does, have the connotation of weaker, doesn't it? Interesting.
Now, if I'm going to, let me just stop that. Shall I stop the recording, Claire?
I think so.
Okay.